Happy Monday. Well, Leroy and I are going to take our masks off for a while. We've been very careful here, and we took a tape measure and measured 6 feet across so that we can do this safely. This is the first time on a Monday Live that I have had a real human being next to me here.
Really?
Have my guest live with me. We've been remote all the other times.
Been phoning it in.
Yes, phoning it in,
Not
that's
here.
right. So,
Not today.
Thank you, Leroy. So this is a real treat. And,
Thank you, Muriel. Thank you.
You know,
I'm glad to be here. I
yeah.
appreciate you having me.
And, you know, I have actually, wondered also about, what's it like, with, I hope you don't mind me asking here.
Ask
I
anything.
mean, what's it like being a country star? Being a touring musician, doing the boat, and then the
Bus and train and plane.
yeah, boats, trains, planes, automobiles, and the tour buses, and life on the road. I mean, is it like the TV show Nashville?
There were times when maybe it was, but those, as nobody makes enough money to have a bus. That's like the most expensive thing you can do. I mean, there were, it's incredibly expensive to do that, but it was great when we could afford it.
Yeah.
And it really wasn't that long of a time, that happened. That maybe, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 years comfortably.
Yeah.
Then I was
That's
just
good.
going in the hole, after that. So, but we figured out a way. We were just talking about when I was with Arista, and that whole machine was going in the 90s. I think 2000 was when I went to California and signed with Vanguard.
Yeah.
And because they're a wonderful jazz and folk, and Vanguard's, they have all their records are still in print. I just thought that looks like my kind of company. And so we made a record called Tell the Truth there. And then we just began to learn how to do it that way, which meant getting back in a van, which meant, and as of late, we a lot of times we take a Sprinter van. I bet y'all do that sometimes too. The little Mercedes Sprinter vans.
Oh no, we haven't. We're not quite up to that level yet. We take my old Toyota Corolla.
How many are traveling with you? You get about 3 or 4 big ugly guys in there with you, and not ugly guys. My guys aren't ugly. And of course, Lisa travels with us too.
Oh yeah.
And her and her folks are watching from Louisville, Mississippi tonight.
Oh,
She's
good.
down there filming a
Great.
movie. Voila.
Great.
And yeah, go ahead. But anyway, we figured it out. But and just like y'all were saying, we were just beginning to gain some ground and just figuring out how to do it in this way for this time in my life.
Yeah.
And then, bam, we get hit with this darn virus.
Yeah,
right?
it's funny because Brian had just mentioned that we were just hitting our stride and say, okay, this is how we can do our career. We can tour like this and this way, and then soon as we figured it out, it went away.
Ain't it the truth? Yeah.
Well, I have found that to be the case in my life, that just as soon as I don't need something anymore, that's when I get it.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe the same is true occasionally, vice versa.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That one's for sure.
Well, if you're just tuning in, my guest today is Lee Roy Parnell, and Leroy had a bunch of hits, right?
I remember a little run there.
Yeah, really well. I saw, your picture on one of those great big buildings in Music Row, broadcast all over there. Yeah, holy smokes.
That's scary.
It was a tender moment, a little bit of you,
Mm-hmm.
and What Kind of Fool Do You Think I Am? Yeah, those are great tunes. Yeah.
Thank you. Well, it was when I got here to Nashville, I came from Texas on a dare, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
My cousin Robert Earl Keene had come up here, moved up here, and he and Lyle Lovett called me one night when I was home. I was getting a few cuts by guys in the 80s. This happened in the 80s, like 87, 86, maybe 85, 86. And they said, you know, you're getting songs recorded by these guys who are touring in Texas and see you play.
Oh.
And so they said, why don't you come up here? There are publishers up here that will pay you money. Banks that will lend you money for a house or a van, for God forbid.
Yeah.
And my dream come true, another van. But so I did kind of come up on it there, and but it was really it was a magical time in Nashville. You know, that it's hard to explain what Nashville was like
Yeah.
back then, when you could go down the alleys of 16th and 17th Avenue and know what every producer's car was. You know, you knew Jimmy Bowen's in there. I could take this song because they're cutting whoever today. I know they're looking for this kind of song. That kind of thing really was prevalent. Lunches meant something.
Yeah, I remember that at that time, if you stop at a stoplight, it would be very common that somebody would roll the window down and pass a cassette out the window to the car next to them.
Right.
I had seen that happen, yes.
It worked too.
Yeah.
I got one cut like that.
You did?
Yes, pretty close to that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, as a matter of fact.
Well, why don't you play a tune for us? But before you do, I'm going to walk up to the monitor here and say hello to a few folks. I see some questions popping in and some hellos. So appreciate you joining us. Donald from Oklahoma is here, and Bruce says hi to Leroy, and
Who's that?
Bruce Taylor says hi.
Hey, Bruce Taylor.
Yeah, and Lori from Nicaragua. Holy smokes!
That old road trip to Nicaragua, I'll never forget it.
And Anita says hi. Jay, Larry, okay, Ron, okay, and keeps on going. All right. Oh, just a lot of greetings, a lot of great hellos.
Got some wonderful friends out there.
Yeah, so grand. Okay, a few more howdies coming in.
Well, you want to play with me?
Oh, sure. What key you gonna be in?
Let's do. Well, it seems to be E tonight.
E. Okay. Let's
That's
do this
the
one.
gear for the evening.
All right.
It's in the gear of. You know, let's do Sunny Days for starters.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe I'll do that on the harp guitar. Wouldn't that be
Why don't
fun?
you do it on the harp guitar? Everything you play sounds good to me.
Well, we are actually we've never played before together.
We can't say that anymore.
Yeah, there we just played our first note
That's
together.
right. This is off the latest album that we did. The album was called Midnight Believer. It's only a couple years old. So we say, I don't say my new album, I'll just say my latest album.
Okay.
You know, that's an Opry trick.
All right.
This is my latest album. It's 40 years ago. This is my latest album. You know, it is the latest album.
Okay.
Tell me if I get too loud. I've been too loud all my life. Sunny days and stormy days. Up to now, that's what my life has been. Broken hearts and brand new stars. But I'm thankful that I live to see it all. When I heard my name, I answered the call. No matter how distant I answer the call. Sunny days and stormy days. It's true now what the old folks used to say. Things will come and go, but if they're yours to hold, you may cry 'cause you think they've gone away. But they'll find you on some above the sunny day. Through the black of night, stars will shine. Little glimmers of hope to help you find your way. And the ebb and flow, that's just the way it goes. Just glad that I hung on like I did, when a good Lord gave me another chance to live, another chance, so I could have, take it now, oh sunny day. You got to keep on walking, don't you hide your faith. Keep on walking over your mistakes. Keep on walking, have to rise above. Keep on walking, give it back my love. Keep on walking, for forgiveness' sake. Keep on walking through the light of grace. Keep on walking, I can't stop now, I can't stop now. Ooh, sunny day and stormy day. Up to now, that's what my life has been. And I've come to see it was meant to be. I'm just glad I lived long enough to know when the rainy days they make the flowers grow. And that's alright with me, 'cause it's gonna be more sunny day and stormy day.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Thank you. Thank you. I wrote that with Greg Barnhill. I wrote the whole album with Greg Barnhill. The whole record. Never did that before.
Wow.
But we were on a roll.
Well, I tell you, that song rings home. Sunny days and not so sunny days.
Right now,
Yeah.
it's the ding dang truth, isn't it?
Yeah, and there are sunny days even within these periods, like when you're here, and we get a chance to play music together. I mean, that's sunshine is out now, even though
It is.
it's night. No.
It is. There's been a lot good that's happened. Somebody said this whole pandemic's God's way of sending us all to our room for a little while. Think about it, you know. But it's kind of true, you know.
Yeah.
But I've had a chance to. I have children. My oldest son is 40. My daughter is turning 36 tomorrow. She's watching. Oh, Allison. And my young son, Jack, who's here with me, not here in this house somewhere, don't worry, it's all fine. Nothing will come up missing or anything like that. That relationship has really blossomed because of this time, because it's just he and I. That's it.
Yeah, it's you're home now, right?
I'm home for
So-
the first time in 40 years. I'm home.
Wow.
And he's, you know, it's raise the boy, teach the boy. Now we have a new guitar player in the family, you know, because Jack's picked up and
Oh,
he's
great.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so it's in that way it's been such a blessing, you know, such a blessing.
Yes.
But we're all ready to get back out there on the road, aren't we?
You know what Willie Nelson said about On the Road Again? he had something there.
It's such a simple little song, and it says everything it needs to say.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Yeah.
How about y'all? Yeah. I saw you've got some dates in February, though, don't you?
Some dates in Florida, so I'm hoping that,
Mhm.
things will get even better so that we can, do those live dates. So they'll be the first ones. It's since last February, right? Entire year.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Since February. We
Really.
crawled off a plane from Tulsa to here,
Yeah.
thinking, it's, okay, well, nobody knew what to expect, right?
Right.
None of us did. But I started thinking, like in June, like, gosh, what if that was it? I can't do that. I can't. I'm not okay with that.
Well, we need that. Well, we did a couple of dates, sort of impromptu, just on the road because we go to Long Island for the summers, and so we took Brian's sailboat up and had a couple of impromptu jams in Maine, on the Maine coast, and then coming back to Nashville, we stopped and did a couple of live streams in other locations, though, so. But it still wasn't the same as playing in front of an audience,
Yeah, well, we'll get back.
Yeah.
We'll get back. We can't. Nobody can live without music.
Yeah.
I think people know now how important it is. I know fans and friends. They're not really fans. I don't really think of my fans as. I think of them as friends, actually.
Yeah,
And I'm sure you do too.
Yes.
And I hear from them, a lot of them. I talked to a lady today, and they're just chomping at the bit. They need it. It's like a road trip. We'll do a road trip. We don't care where it is. If you want to play Texas, go ahead. We'll get there. This is coming from New Jersey,
Well, that's part of the reason why we're doing these Monday nights here, just to kind of stay in touch with everyone and say hi and have some sort of personal contact. And same thing with the True Fire channel, the teaching channel. So this week I've made several tunes free. My arrangement of Superstition is free
cool.
on there. So if you're not on the True Fire channel yet, it's all linked at that website, murielanderson.com/now. Just go to the advanced folder, scroll down there and find Superstition, and then you can go ahead and learn it there. So I like to make a few things accessible for everyone.
I saw you do that.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty remarkable.
Okay, well.
Will you do it?
All right.
On demand.
Right.
So it all started with Hotlander and everything.
Yes.
Tell me about what Pete has to do with this.
So this actually had to do with the All-Star Guitar Night, and that is why we are together here today, because right after we finish here, we're planning to do some pre-taping, some filming for the next All-Star Guitar Night, which Lee Roy is going to be a part of. And we did it live on stage at the Ryman Auditorium one time, and I was sitting next to Pete Hutlinger, and he proceeded to play 3 parts at once, and I looked at it, and I was looking right here at him, and I could not believe that he was doing what he was doing. So of course I had to learn it then, So,
Of course you did.
Yeah. And then add a part.
Yeah. Up in one.
Yeah. Okay, well I did change it around a little bit, you just have to do that. So you have to get a little bit of that kind of, this sort of sound, that clavinet. And that little guitar bit.
How you do that?
Yeah. Well, you wiggle these fingers here, and then you move them. Yeah.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna dream about that tonight. How did you do that exactly? That's just incredible.
So yeah, that's a fun one.
Well, you can get over True Fire Channel, learn it.
Yeah. You'll be on the
I
True
think
Fire
I have-
channel, and then.
I have a pass to learn things on there. Don't we get passes as True Fire?
Yes.
Yeah, not to the channels though.
No?
Yeah, but it's okay. It's free anyway.
Oh,
Yeah, for a while.
well, I'm trying to get in for nothing anyway. But just, it's all,
That tune is free anyway.
learning again
Mm-hmm.
is the coolest thing. It's 64 years old. I'm more on fire for the guitar right now than I've ever been.
Oh,
no
that's
kidding.
Well, I think part of that is, it's the old adage about you don't know what you got until it's gone, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And with the music, I mean, yeah, it's here at home and all that. I mean, yeah, but it ain't the same as playing for folks. But the other thing is, I started teaching a little bit, and I realized because I'm self-taught, I know all these passing chords and all, but I don't know what the names of them are. So I had to start learning, how do you do that? I mean, how do you name that tune? How do you name that chord? And so I had to delve into the whole theory thing, just so I could pontificate about what it was that I was doing. I just do it. I don't know how I do it. I just do it. And so that just set me on a crash course, and I started sitting down with Charlie Christian again and going back. I always go backwards. I ain't going forward because it's all back here.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
all, listening to jazz all the time. I mean, and my little boy, I got him listening to jazz. He's going, let's hear some Kenny Burrell, Dad. That made my day.
Wow.
He knows. That's right.
9 years old.
Yeah.
Wrapping around. That's
Kenny
right.
Burrell's good. At night. Chet Baker, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Well, you have had some interesting bands. I know, wasn't there a band that you hired a 17-year-old kid to play in your band? Yep.
Yeah. Jack Pearson.
Jack Pearson.
There's a sentence.
Yeah, well, we love Jack. What a great player.
Wonderful
guy.
human being, wonderful player. My brother, really. And Jack, my son Jack Parnell, the 9-year-old, was really named, I always loved that name. It was a strong name. I thought, well, he can be a teenager with it and be fine. He can be president of the United States. He can play football with it. Be an old man with it. Be all good. Jack Parnell, that's good. Old Jack. Old Jack. Old Jack. Be good. And I think really Jack Pearson was part of the reason that all happened, is I wanted to name him after Jack. But Jack came on the road. There's varying stories. I remember it how I remember it, so I'll tell you that part of it. But Jack says, no, it didn't really quite like that, but it sure is. Anyway, he did come back to Texas with me. We were playing up in Middle Tennessee, my band, and he came out to sit in, and it was one of those 4 sets a night things, and by the 4th set you were just hating life, and you can just see the crowd out there in one of those, they're just propped up, and this kid comes up, and he had a friend, Mike. I'll never forget it. Mike still hangs around with him all the time. And I said, listen, I got this. He's only 17, but I was only 21. It's not like I was an old man. And he said, he's really good and wants to sit in. I said, well, last set, tell him to come on up because we're ready for a change.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, he plugged in. I think he had like a custom old roll tuck and pleated custom amplifiers. I think it was a PA or something. It was awful, It wasn't when he played through it. And he was great at 17 years old. I mean, he was great. And he came up to me. I just kept looking at him like, he's my twin. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
we both loved the Allman Brothers, and that's what we would be into.
And he went on to play with the Allman
He
Brothers.
did indeed.
Yeah.
And got me up there too.
Yeah.
Thank God
How
for
about that?
And he said, I just want to join your band. I said, well, I want you to. He said, well, you're going to have to talk to my dad. I'm only 17. So I went over there the next morning and talked to his dad.
Wow.
And I said everything I had to say about 3 times because Mr. Pearson never looked at me. He was just looking straight at the TV. Had one going the whole time, you know. And finally, I
Sounds
just
like a producer and a
yes,
manager.
it was. So, it was a forecast of what was yet to come, and he said, "Boy, go pack your bag. It's what this man wants to give you a job."
Yeah.
And he didn't come back home for a year and a half.
Wow. Amazing.
And we're still, you know, I need to take. That's my. He doesn't know it yet, but he's going to teach. He's going to be my teacher.
Oh,
There's a teacher.
well.
It's all the jazz stuff that I'm just blossoming into right now. Jack has it down cold. Of course, he's got everything down cold.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
you know.
I sat next to the producer of the Nashville TV show on an airplane trip one time. I just happened to sit next to him, so we got to talking, and I told him, well, you know what. What you need on the show is a little bit more of what musicians really do, you know. You know, he said, well, where do they go for inspiration? I said, we all go to hear Jack Pearson. And so he said, well, okay, I'll bring you to the TV show. You can meet the, you know, hang out with my people, and you bring me to, you know, a Jack Pearson show. So we did. We brought him to the station then, and sure enough, the whole front row was all musicians leaning forward like this, including the president of the union at that time. And so,
Pomeroy.
yes, Dave
Yeah.
Pomeroy, great guy.
Great Dave Pomeroy.
Yeah. So sure enough, just like I said, it was and then he said to me, that was Lucas George was his name. He said, yep, you're right. That's, you know. And so it's still the case. Jack's. If you haven't checked out Jack Pearson, you know, go do a little surfing.
Yeah, no kidding. You can find a lot online about him. But as soon as things die down, and I believe that probably in a few months we could be looking at having some live dates where we can go see Jack live. So when you book your plane ticket or whatever to come to Nashville to check out music, you really haven't done anything unless you've gone to see Jack play. So check local listings. He didn't pay us to do that.
No, he's probably not even watching.
He's not up yet.
He's not. He'll never know we talked about it.
No.
Why don't you play another tune now?
Oh, okay. What are we gonna do? You're gonna play with me, right?
Yeah, I'll play with you. Something else in key E?
Something else in the key. Songs in the key of life. Well, I think we did this. Ponchatrain.
Ponchatrain.
How's that?
So I got a little chart on that one, so I can.
Well, give me one when you're done, because I won't learn it.
Oh yeah.
I won't learn it right. Let's see here. Usually don't play this quiet, so it's hard to get tone and be quiet at the same time. Okay, this is on the same album as well. Midnight Believer album is called Ponchatrain. Are we in is that the same E? I like to kit mine out just a little bit flat. Sounds fatter that way, you know.
Well, then I'll put mine a little sharp so that we can be.
Perfect. That's that chorus thing we got going. I've always loved New Orleans. I used to could take it for like 3 days at a time. I probably couldn't take it for a day now, but it's such a magical town. Anyway, this is a song loosely written. That's the Ponchatrain, Lake Ponchatrain going across the river. I'm not letting you tune in quiet, am I?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
Close enough for Ponchatrain.
Close enough for rock and roll. 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. summertime. She's riding with the windows down, barreling down I-10 like we ain't got a care. And I drive, but I drive real slow. I wanna let the moment take hold. It's a feeling that words can't explain. I hope it never ends. Just me and my girl rolling down across the Ponchatrain. Crescent City up ahead, skyline casts a silhouette. Perfect night for a perfect girl and a lucky man. Yes, I am. She ain't one for Bourbon Street. She's sings songs and she's magazine. Oh, did I see that little girl when she starts to dance? She moves like a river run wild, so crazy and pretty little smile. Ain't nothing that I'd ever want to change, and I hope you love me. Just me and my girl rolling down across the Ponchatrain. On some Sunday I may take her hand. That's for one day, but now I wanna be where I am. Drive real slow, 'cause I wanna let the moment take hold. It's a feeling that words can't explain, and I hope it never ends. Just me and my girl, she's a pearl of my world. Just me and my girl rolling down across the Ponchatrain. Me and my girl across the Ponchatrain.
Ah,
Very nice.
sweet song. Yes. Well, let's say a couple of more hellos and
We got folks.
yeah.
Mail from Sunflower.
Oh, Bob says this is great.
Is that Bob? Our Bob?
Cullen, Bob Elam and Cullen Klein.
Well, from New Jersey.
Yeah, Ron Frey says woohoo and all right.
Could have been Bob Burwell.
Yes. Oh
That's my
yeah.
buddy Bob from Boonton, New Jersey.
Right.
Boonton.
Okay. Great. Alberto's there. So yeah, bunch of hellos. We are both on Facebook and on YouTube, so we're saying hellos to both spots there.
Howdy, howdy.
And do you have anything that you wanted to promote other than All Star Guitar Night coming up?
Just that.
Just okay.
Just that, really. Until it starts back up, there's nothing to talk about. We can talk about this guitar.
Oh.
This is my signature. It came out 2019 at NAMM 2019.
Beautiful.
Exactly, would have been 2 years ago this week.
All right.
And that's the best. I was just telling, hey folks at home, I was just telling the folks here that this is the best guitar I've ever played in my life, and that's the fact. I've got old ones, I've got old Les Pauls,
Wow.
but it just happened right And
Great.
everyone that I've seen they've been wonderful. So you too can have your very own. I'm not trying to sell my own guitars, but when a really great guitar gets made, and we really are living, I think, in the golden age of
Instruments,
instrument
I
making.
believe so. Yeah, the handmade, hand-built guitars are just amazing, and some of the nicest custom ones are coming out now.
Yeah, they're really. It's a good time for. I mean, the great masters showed our luthiers, you know how it's done, and in the mid '60s on, at least for electric guitar, and maybe true of acoustics too. I don't know. I was late to the acoustic party, as you can see. So late, I don't have one here. But in the '60s, about '65, Fender got sold to CBS, and Gibson got sold to a company called Norland, and they weren't. Neither company understood guitar building and amp building really, and so bottom line, folks, and the guitars weren't very good from that era, in my opinion, and most people's opinion. And like everything else, if you want to get it good, you got to get right down to the nitty gritty, and that's when Gibson got taken back over by folks who understood that. When Fender got taken over by things that understood that, I think Martin kind of did a good job all the way through because they had Chris there, and we went to the factory. And,
Chris was great for that
he
company.
understood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, All-Star Guitar Night coming up. I wanted to let you know that anyone can join NAMM Week this time. So, and it's free for anyone. So you just have to register for the Believe in Music Week, and then you can watch the All-Star Guitar Night, which is coming on the 21st. And if you miss that, we are going to have a rebroadcast later on. We don't have a date for that set yet, but that'll be on my YouTube channel. And so just check back for that. And this show is going to be special Friends of Chet Atkins. So, so Leroy is on there, and we are pointing to each other. So
We have a similar story to tell.
yeah. So go ahead, Leroy.
Maybe you better start. This is your show.
I'll start.
Brian, you start.
All the known CGPs
Brian,
will be on the show.
Oh, is that?
Yes.
I didn't even know this.
Yes.
That was Brian.
Tommy, John Knowles, and help me.
Steve Warner. Yeah, Steve Warner, Tommy Emmanuel, and John Knowles, all the known living CGPs, are going to be on the show.
And some not so well known CGP.
And the not too well known ones.
Some CGP.
Because Chet gave Leroy a CGP at his office, right?
No, we were on TV.
On TV.
I have it on tape.
Oh, I have it on tape too.
You do?
Yeah.
Maybe he did that.
So he gave each of us one of these pins here,
CGP.
a CGP pin, and I think that he was doing that for a while, but then he started doing it officially, and so I think he was just giving the.
No, it was an official thing.
Yeah.
He got kind of put on the spot. I think Steve was. I can't remember. Maybe Steve wasn't there that night because Chet was definitely. I mean, it was me and Chet. He was so nice.
Yeah.
I love Chet Atkins. He was such a sweet guy.
Very giving musically. Yeah.
And talk about a guy who was still after it, on the quest till the end.
Yeah.
He was running RCA, but don't let that get in the way of his practice time, because he practiced every day. He had his that thumb got that was what he had to do every day, is to do that, to be sane, and I understand that. But I'll take it from here for a slap here off to the left.
Yeah. We want to know the story, so this is interesting.
Well, anyway, so we're doing like one of the shows. It was either Nashville Now, or it could have been the Ralph Emery show, but whatever it was, there was Music City Tonight for a while, and then it was whatever it was. But it was Ralph, whatever it was that 8 o'clock slot on TNN for a long time. And I'm on there, Chet's on there, and Ralph kind of put Chet in an unusual position because they started talking about this, C.G.P. and I'm sitting right there. It's just the three of us, as I recall now. I think it was just the three of us. And he said, "Well, Chet, what about Lee Roy here? Don't you think he should be a C.G.P.?" And he was like a deer in the headlights. What was he going to say? And he says, "Certainly, guys, certainly I should, Lee Roy, C.G.P." And gave it to me. I don't know if that counts, but I'm going to take it because it happened. So Muriel and I are leaving Stapleton Airport with a bunch of other people in a van, right?
Yeah, in a tour bus.
In a tour bus. It happened on a tour bus. And we're going up the mountain. I think we're about Evergreen, about where we started talking about that. Yeah. And I recounted this story, and you went, "Me too." I went, "What do you mean, you too?"
Well, yeah, mine was slightly different. He did mention it on TV.
Did
it was
he?
one of those shows, and I think Ralph Amory said, "Are there other CGPs?" And Chet said, "Oh yeah, I gave Muriel one of those." But I was at his office. I happened by to, see if I could get a guitar lesson as usual, which sometimes happens, and sometimes he's busy. But he gave me this little pin. He says, "Now you're a CGP too." And I said, "Can I put this on my resume?" And I was joking. And he said, "Yeah, sure, you can put it on your resume." And I think that got him thinking that maybe he could actually give CGPs to people. So he gave it to me before he started really thinking about making it official. So
you were a pre-official.
Yeah.
And I was probably post.
So that makes us both illegitimate CGPs.
That's right.
I
We
think.
are the IG
CGPs.
Let's get our own.
Yes.
There's only two of us, I think.
There may be more.
There could be more.
If you are also a closet CGP, let us know.
Write us.
I think that maybe Jack Pearson might have been one.
He had to be.
He had to be.
He had to be. If not,
he's probably got one of these hidden away.
I think ICGPs can knight newly, elected.
Well, who else should be is Doyle Dykes.
I thought he already was, but I guess not.
But I think maybe Chet just didn't get around. He, if he had lived longer, I think he would have given a lot more of them out. But he always admired Doyle's playing, and so we're including Doyle on this as well.
Absolutely.
And another player who we greatly admired is Mark Knopfler. Mark's going to be on the show too. That's a little secret. Don't tell anyone. He's going to be at the end of the show.
Mark Knopfler's playing. Yeah. It seems like I've never met him, but I bet he's a lovely guy.
I haven't met him either. I missed him when he was in Nashville.
A proper English gentleman.
Yes.
Seems to be.
Well, with that, now that we have bared our hearts to you, we're going to say adieu, and I'll stay on a little bit. We are going to, right after this, we are going to do some filming for that All-Star Guitar Night, so we've got to get cracking here. And we'll stay on and answer a couple of your texts before we sign off for good. So cheers, and see you next Monday.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.